Morning, everybody. It's me and Grace. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Getting ready to go on a morning walk. Figured I'd just, give a close up of the cutie. Now that we've got that out of the way. She's like, let's go. So, I don't even know it. Wednesday morning. I don't think y'all understand that when I make these videos, sometimes you're literally getting me fresh out of 5 minutes of being awake. So, if they seem a little wonky some mornings, that's why. So, yesterday I mentioned in my talk, a little ramble that I did yesterday, that there are people who are not mental health professionals that are making claims about mental health right now. And I want to have some response to that. So, when you're in a massive, collectively traumatizing event like a pandemic, like when the Spanish flu broke out, like World War II with the Holocaust, like any other major history event where we've had a huge group of people that are, you can argue with me on this one, but selectively disenfranchised, and then sort of left to figure it out. And I think that what happens in situations like these is that, and again, I mentioned this in another video, I think that when massive events like this happens, it really highlights where people are in their trauma healing process. Now, there have been people who have said that if, 3 months into this pandemic, you're still, on the couch in the fetal position, not able to cope, I'm 50-50 on that one in terms of them saying that you need mental health professional intervention. Because there is a part of me that, as motivated as I am by a lot of what's going on, I also recognize the privilege of where I'm at. It is a privilege for me to have the kind of job that I have right now that I'm actually not going to have in a couple of weeks. It is a privilege for me to have the really low rent that I have. It's a privilege for me to... You see how I frame a lot of things as privileges and gifts and blessings? And part of it is because it is. I am a straight white guy, and that's the trifecta of privilege in this society. And if you don't agree with me, go check out Audre Lorde's work. I have a friend who, their quote in their bio is doing the Lord, Lorde, doing the Lord's work, and I'm like, oh yes, I love it. That's what happens when you hang out with social workers. Intersectionality is a real thing. Go look it up. So I'm sitting here at the peak pinnacle of privilege at the trifecta, straight white male, and I noticed that not all, but some of the people who are in that motivational area are people who are really successful and have the ability and have the resources and don't have to think on the base level. And I'm not saying that they don't have empathy for that, because they do, but I think that sometimes people get disconnected with the struggle. I don't even have my LC. I have a conditional clinical license. I'm making, technically the most money I've ever made in my life, and I'm still, almost paycheck to paycheck, which a lot of people are like, you're screwing your life up. Wow, my voice cracked and went weird. You're screwing your life up if that's the case. Well, no. I was poor and didn't have income from 18 to 25, essentially. Living on $800 a month is something that I'm very familiar with in terms of my patients, because that's what they live on, a fixed income for Social Security. Also, there's a truck coming, so just 1 second. It'll be weird. Morning. So, I've lived on $200 a month when I had to take out student loans when I was in grad school, and I had to pay my tuition, and then whatever was left over, that was what I used to pay my rent and buy my groceries. My mom had to take out a loan to help pay, but that loan money got spent on other things besides my rent, and then I ended up having to work a couple different jobs, which I'm not saying from an entitled place, oh, woe is me, I had to work. The problem that I was facing is that I was in classes from 8 to sometimes 9 o'clock at night, 2 days a week. And then my first year of grad school, I had an internship that was 8 to, well, now, if I wanted to work in the mornings, it was usually like 8 to 1, but typically I come in around 10 and I would stay until 8 or 9, because that's when group facilitation was over. And then my second year, we had There are 2 deer that are crossing the road in front of us, and Grace is losing her mind. Like, she's just full alert. So anyways, back to my internship. My second year, I had classes 2 full days a week, and then I was working an internship 3 days a week. I was also working in a warehouse for a really shady guy that works on Amazon that sells books as refurbished and new when they're really not. So that was a cool skill set I learned how to do, was fix books. I also washed dishes at a country club, and I was working for my brother's best friend, doing bottle dropping and sales for water filtration systems. So like, I have struggled. So I know a lot of people come on and say like, oh, I've had it so hard, but like, even though I came from a place of privilege, I still had to fight to get where I am. I didn't have a lot of help. Got myself in a lot of debt in the process, which is a conversation for a different day about whether or not higher education's a racket. But that's honestly been part of my mission in what I do, because I don't think that what I learned in grad school should have cost me as much as it did, which is why I do these videos. It's why I talk to you. It's why I touch on these subjects. So I feel like I've been a little more meandering than usual this morning. So the takeaway is that if you are somebody that has a known mental health diagnosis and you're not doing well right now and you don't have any therapeutic support and you happen to have access to insurance or to a free clinic that has a provider, I would very strongly encourage you to do so. If you know that you need the help, get it. But I don't want anybody to feel like I'm telling you that you need a therapist or that anybody else is telling you those things, because everybody does have different ways of coping. Everybody has different ways of reacting. And I think that once we learn to have grace with each other in the healing process, people are just going to simmer the hell down. Like, I really think that that's what it's going to be. So that's the morning ramble from your social worker, your pesky social worker. I'm trying to wake up. I'm working on it. It's the middle of the week. We're halfway there. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye.